It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Sacramento Kings basketball.
To the hoop. Two-hand throwdown by Keegan Murray.
The run to the playoffs.
Over-the-shoulder pass is a super room service setup for Domantas Sabonis.
On Sacktown Sports 1140. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
We got a truncated show for you today since the Kings have that early tip in Washington. And Kyle Draper, I was just looking at the injury report. This is actually from yesterday, I think, so perhaps it's been updated. But, Drapes, first of all, how are you? Second of all, does Washington even have enough guys to put on the court for this game tonight?
Nah, man, don't disrespect Washington like that, Whitey. They still got Jordan Poole. The pool party will be in full effect tonight. And no, but they are missing a lot of guys. I got the updated list. No Sadiq Bey, Brogdon, Koulibaly, Keyshawn George is out, Corey Kispert, Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, all out. Oh, we just got late breaking word. JT Thor is available, though, Whitey. The JT Thor, exactly. And hold up. You ask me how I'm doing. Hopefully people on the YouTube can see us. If not, check us out. Sacktown Sports 1140 on YouTube. I got here relatively early, Whitey.
Good.
I got to the arena about 4:20 local time, so about 1:20 out there. But it took me a half hour, 35 minutes to find the broadcast location. If you thought what was happening at NBC in San Francisco is bad, I can't even show you where I'm at right now. Like, this is oh my God, this is pretty bad. I can't even see the court from where I'm at. Wow. I'm tucked away in some booth way up on the 6th floor. And the problem with this building, and I'm about to go on a rant here. Sorry to start the show like this.
That's all right.
But not every elevator goes to the 6th floor.
Oh.
So, but how about this, Whitey? I did take an elevator to the 6th floor, but it was the 6th floor where all the HVAC stuff is located. And so you got big fans blowing and everything. And I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be broadcasting from back here. Mm-hmm. So, dude, it took me literally 35 minutes to find this location. So I almost bailed out, almost tapped out. But,
who was it that really saved your day? Like somebody who were you able to find who can point you in the right direction?
Well, one lady, the first elevator I took, she said, "Oh, you got to find elevator 5." But I couldn't find elevator 5. So then I found this other lady, and she's like, "Oh, you might as well take the freight elevator. It's right there. It goes up." So I'm waiting at the freight elevator for 10 minutes, Whitey, 10 minutes. And some lady walks by, and she goes, "You know, we got other elevators in here, right?" She like, because these elevators take forever, so why don't you use this one down there? And so finally I found it. But yeah, so I don't even know her name or anything, but she said I was like a lost puppy on the street. She saw me waiting on that elevator, man. And so yeah, I finally made it. I finally made it. But even when I signed on, Kyle was like, "Man, Drapes, you sound out of breath." I'm like, because I've been walking around for 35 minutes, hoofing steps and climbing over fans and stuff, HVAC material. So, but I'm here now.
Good. Now, so you guys are high up. So that means that every other call, Katie, and I love Katie, but she's going to be talking about, I can't see anything from up here. I have no idea what's going on.
No, Whitey, I don't think you understand. I don't know where I'm at. This is not my broadcast location. You got the YouTube. Look at this right here. So that's I'm up here where the banners are. You see the Capitals banners? Yeah, so I'm way up here. I don't think we're broadcasting the game from here.
Good.
This is the hockey booth, I guess I was told. This is where they broadcast hockey games from. Mm-hmm. You know, hockey, they're like sky high, way up. And so hopefully I'm not this far up for a basketball game.
Ooh. Well, what did you make of, what went down in that Indiana Pacers game?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know.
Or do you have a Drapes take? I don't want to.
I don't have a take about that. I don't have any. I'm disappointed, dude. How do you score 12 points for about 11 minutes or so, 11 and a half? And the same thing I've been talking about, Whitey. We go too much one-on-one ISO ball. way too early, and then it stagnates the offense and slows everybody down. I mean, we're going ISO ball with 6 minutes to go in the game, 7 minutes to go, and it sort of just, bogs everything down, and guys get ice cold after that. It's bad. And I've talked to some, behind the scenes out here, and they're like, we got to learn to move the ball. We have to learn to move the ball. And that's what's killing us right now.
Yeah. Where the hell are you?
I told you I'm up here, dude. I wish I had like a GoPro. I could walk around and like literally.
Yeah.
I'm at the top of the build. Like the roof is like 3 feet above my head. Like I'm looking down at the banners. That's how far up I am, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I found it. I'm here.
Yes.
I'm not like Jay Johnson, tapping out, taking days off, don't want to work today or anything. So.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle Ledbetter, for helping us out today, for staying late, staying at school late. We had Jerry on yesterday, and Jerry, we talked the same thing with Jerry that you and I were just talking about. The ball movement at the end of the game wasn't what it needs to be, which is frustrating because you hear that every time that happens. You hear that after the game from all the principals. But Jerry says, hey, they just got to start. If nothing else, you got to start running something in the games, just so it's not, DeMar, ball stopping, everyone's standing and looking at them, but they just keep making the same mistakes over and over, Drapes. And what's frustrating to me is we know they're better than this, right? And they play away from their strengths. Domas had a big game, had only a couple shots in the fourth quarter. Zach LaVine likes to play at pace. When the game's on the line, they slow everything down. Keegan had a really nice game, doesn't get touches. It's like when the game's on the line, they go away from the things that we know they can do well.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that maybe the coaching staff got to take a more hands-on approach when it comes to that. First time it happens, call a timeout. Like, we're running this, and if the guys aren't running it, then you got to yank them. I mean, we're at a critical mass point here where we need to get these games. And I agree with Jerry and yourself. I mean, you got to start running something. I understand, DeMar is our clutch guy, but damn, not 7 minute mark. There's no way you should have 12 points with 35, 40 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. And that's what it was, Whitey. Then all of a sudden, in the last 30 seconds, they score like 9, 10 points. And I'm like, don't let it fool you.
Yeah.
23 points in the fourth. It was really 12. And then some desperation heaves at the end.
Yeah. I know you pointed that out because remember, I told you before that game against Indiana, I was worried about you if they played poorly. I worry about you in the post game. So I made sure to watch you post game, and you pointed that out. It's like, yeah, they scored this many in the fourth quarter, but I was keeping track, Chelsea, and they only had 12 points for the longest time. So bless you for pointing that out.
Yeah, and so the offense bogged down, and then defensively, like that Pascal Siakam top of the key three.
Yes,
you can't play that worse than what the Kings played it there. I mean, you got to understand time and situation. And I was talking to Chelsea. I don't know if this was on air or not. She was saying, first of all, Domas, stayed with the ball a little too long. Like once whoever it was guarding the ball got back, I think it might have been Malik or whoever it was got back. You got to get back to Pascal Siakam. Second of all, when Domas didn't, you got to rotate out there. You can't leave Pascal Siakam a wide open top of the key three. And so it was just a breakdown, man. And that's been the problem with the Kings pretty much all season long. It's lack of focus, not locking in at critical moments, and it's costing us games.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I think it was Keon on Halliburton.
And then so
I think. But to your larger point, when Domas stays with Halliburton, basically he isn't accomplishing anything because Keon did have him. Keon was in front of him and stopped him. So Domas basically just leaves Siakam wide open and accomplishes nothing defensively. And that was one of the biggest baskets of the ball game. So
yeah,
there you go.
That was huge. And how many times, Whitey, and I don't know if you felt the same way watching it, I'm like, eventually they're going to make one of those threes. Like the Pacers had about 6 or 7 3-point attempts to take the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, eventually they're going to hit one. And sure enough, the corner three, I forget who it was. I'm drawing a blank. And they took the lead. I'm like, see, here we go. And then I think it might have been Halliburton. Then Siakam hits one. They're not locking in fully and, especially defensively and then offensively, not moving the ball at all.
Yeah. And the 10th spot still theirs for the taking. Hopefully they can move up to the 9th spot. The Suns last night, who the Kings, at least theoretically, are battling for the last spot, the Suns against the Bucks. The Suns gave up 68.9% shooting. The Bucks made 68.9% of their shots, and they still only won by 10. But again, those Phoenix Suns, without Durant right now, it's hard to see the Kings falling out of the play-in. I know all things are possible. You can't count your chickens before they're hatched, but I think the 10th is pretty much sewn up, Drapes.
Yeah, unless you go winless the rest of the way or something. It's clear Phoenix ain't trying to capture that spot, right? They've had every opportunity to really overtake Sacramento. And hold up, Whitey, hold up. Yeah. First of all, I ain't going to let High Flyer walk into the studio disrespecting you like that. If you're listening at work or driving or something and you don't see it, High Flyer just walks past Whitey's solo shot, his camera shot, multiple times. Don't even say, excuse me,
it's all right.
My bad. Dog, your show ain't for another 19 minutes, High Flyer. What you doing in there, man?
We'll bring on the Flyer in just a moment. I have no problem with it, High Flyer. First, I just got to share with you an important message about Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Then we'll see what Henry has to say. Our old heater collapsed with a heavy sigh right around Christmas, and we needed that new one. But the thing is, there are so many HVAC companies out there. How do you choose? And a friend here at work recommended we check out Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating at leesair.com. And we're glad we did. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, ready to come out the day we called. They treated us with respect. From the person we answered the phone to the guys who installed our new HVAC unit. So why choose Lee's? They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They get 4.8 stars on Google. A lot of friends recommend them. They've won awards with their service, and they've spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, and water heater, plus residential and commercial plumbing repair, commercial HVAC services too. Find out more at leesair.com. Check out their mission statement, which is all about serving customers and community, and check on their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of me, treating us like family, setting us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355. It's the Drive, guys. We got Drapes standing by in Washington, and joining us now is the High Flyer. Get ready for game night. Just so we're clear, Henry, I had no issue with you coming in and getting comfortable. That was all Kyle Draper. I think you and, as far as I'm concerned, we're good.
You know what? I understand, man. Whenever you got a brother that's up in the upper room, he gonna hate on everything.
Dude, I don't have no engineer here. I just walked into an empty room and I heard Kyle Ledbetter. Hello, mic check. Anybody there? And I was like, all right, I guess this is my headset right here. It's pretty bad up here, man.
Hey, KD talking to the Lord. Lord, is that you, Lord?
Yeah, I'm up here, man. I'm up here.
It's the Wizards. They're not very good, Henry, but we remember what happened a year ago, don't we?
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going back that far? I mean, I can just go back 2 days and remember what happened.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the type of guy is like, what have you done for me lately? What's going on right now? And it's tough for me to look at this basketball team right now. I love this team, but it's tough for me to look at them because at the end of the day, when you watch how they play, it really makes you want to go in the locker room and say, everybody up against the wall, I'm taking blood from each and every one of you because I want to know what's pumping through your veins. Is it blood or is it Kool-Aid? Because it really feels like at some particular point, these guys just stop. I don't want to have to worry about, and I'm just saying if it's me that's running this team, I don't want to have to worry about trying to rev some guys up to go out there and compete. At this point in the juncture and what we have at stake, why are we looking at some guys that look like it's over?
Is that what you sense at High Flyer? You think dudes are tapping out 1, 2, 3 Cancooning? Is that what I'm hearing? I mean,
didn't you watch that fourth quarter?
Wasn't that DeMar taking over the offense? Ball stops with him, and then everyone, when he's doing that, you have to stand still, right? You have to give him space, and then everything stops.
Here's the problem. This is how we get to that.
Yeah.
When nobody else is making a shot, at least DeMar can get a shot, and he's going to make a shot. So that's why they go to that ISO one-on-one ball. I don't like it either. I'm fine with DeMar shooting the ball every time he touches it, but can you do it out of a scheme?
Right.
Out of a scheme?
Right.
But see, it goes back to what I told you guys earlier on when we first got DeMar and then Zach came on. I'm like, we got two guys that came from a system to where it was structured all the way down to the last shot. And I still believe that DeMar and Zach will flourish in a structured offense, whether giving them the sentiment of, well, read and react. No. This play is not for you to read and react, Zach. This play is for you to shoot the ball, because it seems like you can only manifest 8 shots in the whole game.
What do you think of this? What do you guys think of this? Does this illustrate that? I saw these numbers at SI.com today. This is Zach LaVine and his pick and roll numbers. Okay, with the Bulls out of the pick and roll, 42 games with the Bulls, he shot 45.2%, 55.3 effective field goal percentage, 0.99 points per possession. 25 games with the Kings, that's 80th percentile, by the way. With the Kings, 21st percentile, 35.8 field goal percentage, 43.2% effective field goal percentage. Bottom line, his pick and roll production since he came to the Kings, it's just plummeted. He's not productive, and he's always been his whole career very productive.
Running the pick and roll is textbook pretty much.
Yeah.
But for me, Zach has been turning the basketball over at a very high rate.
Yeah.
And when he starts turning that basketball over, let's say about that third turnover, he has a different look on his face. He has a look like, okay.
He gets it poked out from behind a lot, huh?
Yes, he has that look in his face like, okay, I'm not trying to get downhill. I'm just trying to get through this play without losing the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I see, and Chelsea was talking about this on the broadcast the other day on the pre and half and post game show. She's not a fan of all the dribble handoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And in High Flyer, you tell me, I feel like the pick and roll is the most. It's hard. It's difficult to read out of it. I understand, but most players are used to that. They've been doing that. Most good players got the ball, and I'm talking about perimeter guys. Zach, DeMar, they done ran pick and roll for their entire lives, 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do it enough, I think, for the Sacramento Kings. And you look at Domas, I think the pick and roll game will help Domas, because now you got a big roll into the basket. You got to suck in, guard him. And if you don't, you got the spray three. I mean, it just, I don't know, man. We could point to a bunch of things, but I don't know if the offense fits our personnel.
It's like this, Katie. The pick and roll is probably one of the plays in the NBA that has never changed.
Right.
It's probably been around from the first day anyone played basketball.
and the reason why is because it's so effective.
Mm-hmm.
The way it is. Some guys run it a little bit different, but pick and roll is pick and roll. Okay. They changed it a little bit. Pick and pop for the stretch 4.
Yeah.
But when we are in the pick and roll, Malik Monk is one of the best in the business at running that high pick and roll, him and Domas. So when we put Zach in the high pick and roll, it's like I said, Zach's been turning the basketball over, but I will agree with Chelsea on this. The dribble handoff is probably the easiest thing to defend.
Aren't they moving right?
Yeah, aren't they moving away from that? Or like since Doug came, it looks like they're trying to de-emphasize that a little bit.
Maybe, but what I'm saying, when they do run that,
yeah,
that's the easiest thing to defend because it's like switch.
So, yeah,
switch.
Do we need, and somebody making comments on the YouTube chat, I won't repeat them, but does Domas need to give up the ball earlier? And Whitey, you've been talking about this. Get off the ball a little bit more and let others create. Will that help our offense out?
I think, and I've been one that has definitely been on this boat. Domas, get the rebound, kick it to a point guard, and you haul all the way down. Floor. Because I want to see Domas finishing. I don't want to see Domas facilitating. He can throw it out to the three-point line until the cows come home. If we're not making three-pointers, it makes no difference.
How many points are there for a big who runs the floor well? There's like 4 to 10 points, like 3 points a game, right? If you do that well.
Easily, if you got guards that's pushing the ball up with the pass.
Yeah.
With the pass. The pass. I don't get, it's some things that hasn't changed in basketball and won't change. The pick and roll has been a staple since Bob Cousy, all right? We know that. Passing the ball up with the pass has been a staple since Magic Johnson made it famous.
Probably going back to Bob Cousy, actually.
Right.
Passing it ahead.
But I'm just saying, Magic Johnson made it famous with the LA Showtime Lakers. Yeah. That was his thing. Catching the ball, turning, and the ball doesn't even hit the floor. It's to the guy, James Worthy, Statue of Liberty, dunk.
Drapes, High Flyer, do you think that these next two games, and we can't take anything for granted the way this team is playing, but do games against Washington and Charlotte, two teams that aren't very good and aren't putting their best feet forward, does it give the Kings maybe an opportunity to get right before your final pivotal stretch run?
Well, if I'm going to put both of my feet together.
Yeah.
Okay. I think depend upon how they approach the game. Because really, it's all on the Kings right now. It's not their opponent. We know who their opponent is. It's all about how they're going to come out and attack the game, how they're going to come out and play the game. Yes, they can use both of these games to get right, to get some confidence going. We know, once you start seeing the ball go in, that can change within a quarter. But the thing about it is that they got to come out with the right mindset that they want to play the right way.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too, Whitey, and it could give them some momentum. But then you get smacked in the face by Cleveland and Detroit on the back-to-back.
Right.
And so that's why these games to start this road trip were so important. That's why, a game against Indiana, you got to get that win, so that because the back half of this scheduled Cleveland and Detroit, that's going to be a bear. And so, yes, you can get some momentum, but we've seen it with this team. Outside of that 7-game win streak, they haven't really strung together and been able to, get a 5, 6, 7, 8-game win streak. Momentum for them is 2 wins and then 2, 3 losses, 2 wins. It's never been a stretch outside of that 7-game win streak where you're like, this team is rocking and rolling. They've hit their stride.
And you know what? Can I say this, Whitey?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been debating. Oh, well, do you want to see the Kings go into the play-in and if they win the play-in, they go to the first round, they're going to see OKC. This is just it's not going to work. They're not going to win. It's a dead end. Lead me to that dead end.
Yes.
Lead me to that dead end.
Yes.
Because I look at it like this. Let's say if you tank, you're tanking for a pick. Number one, you don't know who you're going to get out the pick.
Right.
That's a crapshoot. And you're tanking for one player. If you go to the play-in, win the play-in, go to the playoffs, get knocked out of the playoffs in the first round, I don't even care if it's a sweep. Guess what? Those 12, 14, 15 guys in that locker room, they feeling pretty damn good about themselves because guess what? They achieved their goal. Our goal is to make it to the playoffs. Ultimate goal, if everything, if the good Lord opened up the sky so you can have whatever you want, is to make it past the first round. But just to get there was this team's goal.
Henry, I don't think that's ever happened before in the history of the Sacramento Kings where you have so many fans, and I understand the argument. I choose not to be on that side, but so many fans saying, making the playoffs,
No.
That's never happened before.
No. Yeah. I mean, making the playoffs, believe me, changes everything that you're looking at the players, the coach.
Yeah.
All of that is
right.
going to be changed if they're able to make it just there. And like I said, even if they get swept by OKC, so what?
Right. And here's the thing. You make the playoffs. I'm talking from a player and coach's standpoint, not the organization. Organization, it doesn't matter. But to Henry's point, you make the playoffs. Now you feel like you got something to build on.
Right.
Now you feel like, okay, especially given everything that happened, cobbled this team together at the trade deadline, you got something to build on in the offseason. If you miss the playoffs, you're starting from scratch, basically. You're starting from scratch next season, whether it's with the pick, trade moves, new coaching staff, whatever. You don't have a foundation to build from.
Right. And for me, it's just more simple than that. I'm a basketball fan. I want more games. I want play-in and playoff games in Sacramento to go to. That's more fun.
Hey, and here's one more step to piggyback off that. KD, you and I, we always talk about, okay, do you really like the play-in or is it good for the NBA? Guess what? Right now, this is what the play-in is for. It gives you that last-ditch effort, big fella, to where if you can make it and get your guys together, you can get to where you need to be.
Yes.
All right, Drapes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck finding. Well, you're not going to have a problem finding your actual broadcast spot, right?
No, I might, because I got to find out how to get back down now, Whitey. It took me 30 minutes to find my way up. Now I got to find my way back down. So
Hey, press the B button for basement.
basement, right?
All right, Trace. We'll be watching. Thanks.
All right,
We'll
guys.
talk to you soon.
All right, down.
Yeah, and stick around. We've got game night with the High Flyer and Scott Marsh next. Getting ready for the Kings and the Wizards on Sacktown Sports.
MBG and J, all in one where I'm finna pay. Now I pay for them good seats.
Tonight, Kings and Wizards. Game night with Scott Marsh and the High Flyer Henry Turner starts at 2:30. Tip off at 4. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento